that was crying out for help. Damage is hard. He had to wear a...
So hot off the press here. What happened in it?
Went on record and said that due process rights are inconvenient, so they felt that they didn't need to follow them. So,
They didn't say that.
no, they really did. They actually said that this would slow down their investigations if they had to go to court. They said that it would slow down their investigation, it slowed down their process. If every doctor could object to illegal investigations, that'd be terrible for them. So no need to follow the due process of law. The board is above that, apparently, at least in their own minds. So we intend to challenge this. I look forward to asking the courts whether or not they believe that an administrative agency in Ohio can deprive someone of a constitutional property right without due process of law because it's inconvenient.
Amen. Dr. Sherry.
I would thank everybody for coming. Thank you for all your prayers so far. We need to continue the prayers until we follow this through all the way to the end.
Amen. Amen.
We're not giving up on this.
Yes.
No, that's right. We learned to fight back.
God put me here for a time.
Yes. Amen.
It's time for these medical boards to start being challenged all across the country, and this is what we're seeing here.
So, Sherry, did they say how long are you suspended? How long is this? Indefinite.
Until she complies with
something. You don't know what, but something. Apparently until she complies with illegal investigations.
That's right.
No, they sent 5 letters. We responded 5 times. I'm still at a miss trying to figure out why that is not cooperating.
Well,
I can answer that. They explained it to us because if we objected, right? So they said that if they had to go to court to deal with those objections, that would be just very inconvenient and would slow their process. And I mean, we actually have attorneys on that board. We have people who we actually reminded them that you cannot deprive someone of a right.
due process.
Without due process under the color of law. It's stated plainly in the law. This was an egregious overreach. I look forward to bringing this to court. I look forward to having the courts do right by this. I mean, I've never heard anything like this.
Amen.
We actually had board members admit in a public forum that due process is inconvenient. Okay. God help us.
That's right.
When the reality of it, Dr. Sherry, is first do no harm, right? Yeah, hang on a second. First do no harm. We got two. We sort of got our own. Jump in here. It's okay. First do no harm, right, Dr. Sherry? First do no harm. That was the Hippocratic oath that people did. And so patients would come to you and you first would do no harm.
But Dave, I'm going to answer for her because I got to be a lawyer for a minute.
All right.
That wasn't the question. There were no accusations of patient harm. There were no accusations of fraud. There were no accusations that she did anything wrong other than, quote, failure to cooperate. Now, when they send you the piece of paper that says, hey, we want to investigate you, it says on there that you have the legal right to object to this investigation or to the inquiries if they're incorrect under the rule of law. We objected. Apparently, the idea that they would then do what their paperwork says, which is go to court to get, to compel us to do something, they actually said that's inconvenient.
They said it was inconvenient.
It would slow the process. We can't possibly follow due process when it comes to doctors challenging, our edicts. I mean, if we did that, just think that we'd have to go to court. I mean, it'd be chaos. We live in a country that has a constitution that may be a shock to some of the medical boards in this country. It may be a shock to Joe Biden. It may be a shock to some of our leaders in Washington. But the Constitution still exists. And my God, we'll die on that hill.
That's right.
Die on that hill. I got to tell you, it's rare that I get angry about these things. I'm very, very measured about it, believe it or not. I mean, I frequently want to punch them. but there's a difference between... This is just infuriating. We literally had a medical board with lawyers on it, and not one of those lawyers said a single word about the fact that the medical board openly stated that their position was it's inconvenient for us to provide due process rights. What can I say about that?
I say that.
And an assistant attorney general who said it was inconvenient to follow due process.
So,
That's
Yes,
kind
the
of
Attorney
scary.
General's office for the state of Ohio argued that the due process rights are really, they're overrated apparently.
they are.
They're overrated, it's inconvenient, and yet I think this guy's going to run for governor coming up.
Oh, not that
Not
guy.
on our watch.
So, Doctor.
I mean, that's his boss, right?
Yeah.
Right? The AG's office, who's governor, the boss is AG, right? And this guy's arguing the due process, it's unnecessary, it's inconvenient. The administrative agencies, they can do whatever they want. They don't need to follow due process because they're the bureaucrats, right? Does it sound a little bit, I mean, if this isn't reminiscent of the Soviet Union,
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
Communist Germany,
Ohio.
this is terrifying to me. I look forward to seeing it in court. I look forward to seeing what we can do. And
So
the fight
Sherry,
ain't over.
listen to this, folks. Sherry, you're looking right in the camera. I see you really good. Scripture says, "Blessed are you, Sherry, when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely on my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward. For so persecuted the prophets which were before you." You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world, Sherry, and we're proud of you here today. And
Yes.
Tom, we're proud of you for standing up
Yes,
and
we are.
born for such a time as this. What was it Ronald Reagan said, or heard Jim Caviezel say? Evil is powerless when good is brave. Evil is powerless when good men are brave. God bless you, Sherry. Tom.
I pray that everybody pays attention. I want to ask all you guys, this will be very important going forward. This should be a no-brainer in court, in my opinion.
Tom, question. A lot of those attorneys abstain from voting. What is the significant thing?
Well, you know, I can't tell you what's in their mind, but the question was, why did some of the attorneys abstain from voting? And I can't tell you what they were thinking. What I can tell you is that we literally had a situation where an administrative body informed someone that they were going to take something, they were going to take action against a constitutionally protected right. Your medical license is a constitutionally protected right. You have a property right in it. You cannot deprive someone of their rights and liberties without due process of law. They literally said on record, okay, this isn't complicated. This is very straightforward. These guys on record said, due process of law is really inconvenient. We don't want to do it. It would slow things down. I'm sorry, guys, but we have a constitution to protect the innocent, not to enable them to, charge people and do what they want. The government the Constitution was structured to protect us against government overreach. This is exactly why we have to fight for due process. And this is something that is called procedural due process, okay? So everybody talks about law and they come to this. One of the things that's not understood, you see, why do the lawyers have to send so many letters and send it certified and do this? And everybody says, well, that's a pain in the butt. You're right. Until your procedural due process is violated. Sherry's, in my opinion, was egregiously violated. And these guys just said, yeah, but it would be inconvenient to follow. That was their response. Okay. By the way, I heard that they've already pulled it down from YouTube. That's a shot.
Wow.
That's a shot. So
We posted.
Yeah,
We got it on Rumble.
Thankfully, we've got a few people that recorded it. And I look forward to making sure everybody on the planet sees that the Ohio Medical Board
Amen.
believes the due process is an absolute, it's a horrible thing. It gets in their way from doing their job of keeping you safe. Right?
Amen.
Like they did during COVID, like they did with their safe and effective vaccines, like they've done across the board. This is absolutely something that is one of the most foundational.
YouTube has removed the video, folks.
I look forward to
YouTube
it.
has already removed the video.
Thank you, Tom.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you, Sherry, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny.